I want to exercise your imagination a little bit. Bear with me. I want everyone in this room to close their eyes. Yeah, you over there too, you can close your eyes. Okay, when you hear the words, greatest inventors of all times, what are the names that just pop into your head? Lots of really great names, right? Now I want you to think with me, how would it feel if your name was amongst those names? Wouldn't it be really amazing? I'm sure it would. You can all open your eyes now. Ladies and gentlemen, today I'll be speaking about leading an inventive life. But before I go any further, I would like to define what an invention is. Okay, an invention is a unique or novel device, composition, method, process, or discovery. It can also be an improvement upon a machine or product, or an alternate means of achieving a process. And as we all know, that the human mind is the only source of inventions. But today, I want to introduce you to a very huge concept, the concept of cultural invention. Cultural invention is a term I didn't know existed till last year. Cultural invention, by definition, is a group of innovative, useful social behaviors adopted by people and passed on to others. Now, to make this much clearer, is that you don't have to discover or create materialistic things to be known as an inventor. Is that it gives each and every person in this room and each and every person walking on the face of the earth, and the moon by the way, a chance to be named an inventor. Like systems of law, the ISO quality assurance systems, they're all perfect examples of cultural invention. In my opinion, TED is also one of the greatest cultural inventions that has contributed a great deal to our society. Inventions, my friends, were not made by geniuses or extraordinary people. They were made by people who understood the need for something and translated this need into an invention. So, inside of all this, sorry about that. Okay, inside of all this, I designed a questionnaire to assess the attitude of students in my faculty towards invention. So there were lots of questions and lots of statistics. I don't want to bore you with all that stuff, but there are 3 questions that really hit the target. The first one was, have you attended any workshop or training program that promoted inventive thinking? And to my surprise, 63% have not. And this is a huge deal, people, because if 63% of our future working population, our future minds, have not had any, anything to upgrade their thinking, to move them to the next level of thinking. This is huge. And the next question was, what do you believe is the most important factor responsible for the attitude of students towards invention? Now, I gave them 4 variables, as you can see, and it's really surprising to find out that 47% believe that it's the environment. But you know what? If I were to define what an environment is, I am the environment. You are the environment. You are the environment. So this is a very good thing. So if you want to, solve this problem here, it only takes each and every one of us to change himself. And the last question was, do you believe you can become the number 1 inventor of the next century? And 57% are going to become inventors of the next century. So a round of applause for these group of people. After I saw the results of this question, it really gave me a push. I mean, Suhaila, you really have to do something about this. After all what you've done, all this study, you have to do something about this, right? So I went to my dad, and I was like, Dad, what can I do about this? How can I help these people to upgrade their mode of thinking? So he told me that I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to tell you a little story. It's one of the secrets of the Japanese Empire. So the Japanese guys have this thing called imagination thinkers. Imagination thinkers are a group of people paid money just to try products and give feedback to the manufacturers of what more luxury, what more improvement they would want on that product. And then you have, voila, the manufacturers have fulfilled the demand of the people, and at the same time, they are getting more customers to buy their products. So I was really inspired by this story, and I was like, I want to do something like this. So I invented a system called Think, Modify, and Apply. abbreviated as TMA. Now, think, modify, and apply is a three-phase system. Okay? The first phase is the think phase, where an individual or a group of people gather around to solve a certain problem. So all of them basically brainstorm, look for different ideas from different points of view to solve a certain problem. And this problem dictates to us certain criteria. Now these criteria are basically like a criteria of an ideal solution. So out of all the ideas that we've collected from the people, and we try to choose the best idea which fulfills all the perfect criteria. Then this idea moves on to the next phase, which is the modify phase. Now in the modify phase, this idea is stretched, upgraded, and improved to best fit the problem. Now, the last phase, which is my favorite phase actually, where you can actually see the fruit of your labor. You know, all those brainstorming and the ideas that you did, you can actually see it into real life. You'll be like, oh yeah, I thought of this and I'm looking at it right in front of me. This is really, really cool. So, one of our group experiences with TMA was that I'm sure at some point some of you have been to the dentist, right? And this really annoying sound of the so-called dental drill. So it's really annoying and frustrating, and we have lots of adults that actually are scared of this. So what about children? They are terrified. They just scream and get hysterical. They don't want to sit in the chair, and we can't even deliver dental care properly to them. So we sat down and we applied TMA, all of us, and we got to a conclusion that all of us are going to pack our cell phones with children rhymes, poems, whatever it is that children like, and then we'll plug our headphones to them when we're using this handpiece or the drill. So, and surprisingly, we got a very, very huge positive response. I mean, the kids were relating to the songs because they heard them on TV, on their favorite cartoons, and then we could deliver dental health care to these patients peacefully, I mean, without kicking and biting, and efficiently. And this was a huge, change for us, because now every single child could get efficient dental health care, and actually they wouldn't hate the dentist afterwards. So, leading with TMA. Many people told me that, why do you think TMA is so unique? There are lots of problem-solving systems, but you know what? I'm telling you, TMA is unique. The first advantage of TMA is that it's simple, it's uncomplicated, and in 2 weeks' time, trust me on this one, it's a part of your life. And actually, we can even teach it to children in school because it's so simple to adopt. And the second advantage of it is that it boosts your confidence in yourself. I mean, even if you don't achieve something in the end or make a change, you'll be satisfied that at least I tried to make a difference. I didn't sit there and just start blaming everybody. The third thing, or the third advantage, is that it gives every single person to make a difference, every single person a chance to make a difference. And the third advantage, which is the most important one, is the fact that it can be applied to different aspects of your life, be it economical, academical, or even self-improvement. And this little self-improvement part, this is one of my personal stories with TMA. Actually, I had this subject last year that was so tough, and I thought I would never pass the subject. And I almost had a nervous breakdown. So I decided that I was going to apply TMA, and I found out when I got to the think phase that my main problem was motivation. I needed to be motivated throughout the day constantly, but how can that happen? You know, in the morning you're like, okay, I'm going to do this, but in the end you'll be like, oh yeah, I can't do this any longer, you know? So I was like, how can I solve this? So I found this really small idea, is that I brought this little piece of paper, and I wrote 3 phrases. I wrote eat, you need it, sleep, you love it, and study because you can do it. And I pasted this small little piece of paper in the only place I know I visited the most throughout the day, which was my wallet. And in the morning, when I'm going to school, I want to pay my bus fare, and I look at the piece of paper and I'm motivated again. And 4 p.m., I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm thirsty, I want to grab something to drink, and I open my wallet, and it's there. I'm motivated again. And guess what, guys? I did not pass this subject. I got an A. Now, don't be scared of failure. You know, new ideas are always faced with rejection, but you have to stand strong. You have to never give up. You have to try to make people accept this, because if you don't insist on them, they'll be like, you're just some other person with some new idea or blah, 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 stuff like this. But you really have to insist if you really believe in your idea. And getting back to where we started, about the list of those great inventors. Now, those great inventors, if we sit to think, what brings all of those great people in common? You know, they're from different backgrounds, different ethnic groups. But you know what? The only thing that brings all of them in one list, in one area, in our brain, is the fact that they all think big. Yes, you can think big and it will not crash over your head. Trust me. And you don't only have to think big, you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your ideas, believe in your capabilities. So I stand here proudly today, believing in think, modify, and apply, believing in my cultural invention, because it has made me stronger, better, and a much more confident Suhaila. And lastly, my advice to you is to work hard, have fun, make a difference. Thank you.